The Straw Hat Pirates discover an island of fairies, in my review of One Piece, episode 640. Law and his group must have just taken some sort of secret warp pipe because they just ended up in World 4 of Super Mario Bros. 3, where everything is big except for the people. This week's episode of One Piece finally introduced us to those weird, mysterious fairies that everybody's been talking about in Dressrosa. I'm willing to believe everything at this point now that we got these weird frickin' toy people. But it's kind of interesting how this episode works because, and it's kind of a huge coincidence because both members of the different groups of Straw Hat Pirates happen to run into these fairy people, one being Zoro and one being Law in their group, but I'm not really sure where they're going with this quite yet. But they're actually not fairies at all. They're called the Tontatta tribe. They're these little group of small dwarf-like people, and they're apparently pretty badass and powerful because this one female one by the name of Wicca, who runs into Zoro, has a disturbing amount of power when she's freaking out and pounding the ground and destroying the pavement and all of the brick walls around them. It's just a display of what these guys are truly going to be capable of. And that makes me wonder what's going to happen to the group that Law is with, because Nico Robin caught this one, but I'm imagining if they all have that type of strength and they all band up together, that they're not going to be that easy to fight against. They might actually be something of a threat if there's a lot of them. So the whole deal with these fairies...
Listen!
Thanks for that. The whole deal with these fairies is they actually have this sort of, like, grudge against Don Quixote, and they want to start this war with him, apparently, or some sort of coup. And it looks like they're actually going to get a little bit of help from the Straw Hat Pirates as well, because it's going to be a little bit of quid pro quo, you help me, I help you, because Wicca lets Zoro know that the Don Quixote pirates are getting ready to attack the Straw Hat ship, so shit's clearly about to go down. But since Zoro has no sense of direction whatsoever, Wicca is going to be able to help him out a little bit. So that's where you see their relationship is probably going to build. And, you know, I just can't wait to see the two dynamics. That's what's going to happen, because obviously everything that's going on for Nico Robin and their group, it seems like it's going to go downhill. And I only say that because I've seen the intro of the show, and it looks like all of those weird fairy people are pinning her down to the ground and crawling up in her dress and stuff. That's some pretty weird stuff. I'm not really sure where that's headed. But anywho, there's also some stuff at the stadium. We get to see that Don Chinchao is getting a big boner for fighting against Luffy, so I imagine that battle is going to be really exciting. Hopefully that's just around the corner. But at the end of the episode, it is Violet who is actually revealed that she is a devil fruit user. She has the glare fruit. She has the ability to look into your mind and see actually what's there. And what's really cool about this scene is, of course, we all knew that Sanji was going to have all the dirty shit in his mind, but I love the way she reacted to it, how she just blew herself back and was just like so overcome by all of it. It was hilarious. But it's also pretty obvious that she's clearly working for someone and she doesn't really want to... She doesn't want to kill Sanji. She has some sort of other motive here, you know, at work. And Sanji brings that up because that when he first ran into her and she asked for help, it seemed very genuine. So there might actually be something there. I'm not really sure why she could possibly be working for the Don Quixote family or even another affiliation. I'm not really sure where this part of the story is going, but it is interesting at least. And I'm interested to learn a little bit more about what she can do with that fruit. And also, it would be hilarious to see some of the things that were going on in Sanji's mind. So this week's episode of One Piece was a little slow and it only introduced a few concepts, but at least we finally got to learn a little bit more about these weird fairy people, the Tontatta tribe. I can't wait to see how their story is actually going to tie into everything. But for the most part, all of the artwork here was pretty decent. All the animation, when there was animation, was pretty decent. But honestly, nothing here is going to blow any mind. So I'm going to give this week's episode a 7 out of 10. But if you are following the One Piece anime series, definitely check this one out. It's got a lot of really interesting developments, and it's definitely planting some seeds for some great storylines later on in the Dressrosa arc. So check this one out. Pretty good. So if you guys had a chance to check out this week's episode of One Piece, I would love to hear your thoughts about it. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you have any favorite moments? What do you want to see from the future of the Dressrosa arc? Remember guys, before you leave, make sure to hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. It's really easy to do and it helps out our videos tremendously. It's also really easy to subscribe to our channel so you can see all of our latest videos, all of our latest reviews, all that jazz. You can also check us out on these newfangled Facebooks and Twitters. I'll put links to that stuff in the description box below. So, I'll see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.